Hello and welcome to Live with Hillsdale Hospital. Today is Wednesday, May 14th, and we're here to provide you with all of the happenings in healthcare around Hillsdale County, to share with you some of the exciting news that we have, which we'll be releasing in just a moment, and also to keep you up to date on all of the things as it pertains to inpatient, outpatient, and services that you've requested that your local hospital provide right here in your backyard. I'm excited today because I have once again in the studio Lindsey Crouch. Lindsey has been with us before, but we've talked about Lindsey home care, and now we're going to shift and talk about the other side of your business, which is called DME, Durable Medical Equipment. And we're going to talk about what that means, prior known as
Hillsdale Home Oxygen.
Hillsdale Home Oxygen. We'll talk a little bit about that. But before we get into conversation about some of the great things that are happening and some of the moves we're going to be doing, talk to us a little bit about your background. You were a nurse on the floor here, and you spent quite a bit of time taking care of our patients in skilled nursing, quite the ministry there. But then now you've expanded your territories to include outpatient services. So give our listeners a little backdrop drop of where you've been, what you're doing now.
Okay. So I did work on the skilled nursing unit for 9 years before transitioning into home care. I've been there since 2018. And then last year, also became director of Hillsdale Home Oxygen.
Hillsdale Home Oxygen, which, primarily in years past has really been focused on solely home oxygen, tank delivery, also some electronic devices, but we've expanded over the years.
We have.
And I think that has constituted the need for us to look at, is there a better and fitting title beyond just home oxygen? So with that, why don't you talk to us a little bit about what is medical equipment, what do we offer beyond home oxygen, because home oxygen is very important still. And then the exciting news that we're relocating. And I want you to talk just a little bit about that as well.
Okay. So Hillsdale Home Oxygen offers so many more things than just oxygen and concentrators. We have CPAPs, we have walkers, crutches, wound care supplies now, and we're expanding into a lot of different products in the future. A lot of things that are going to be important services for community members. And so with that, we decided that Hillsdale Medical Supply would be a more fitting name for our business.
Yeah, and as we think about, post-discharge of a patient from the hospital, they need services. And those services sometimes encompass, obviously, the need for oxygen, both limited and long-term, as well as some other supplies that we offer. And we really feel that an important niche is to make sure that we can serve our patients and keep them in Hillsdale and keep the products and supplies local for them. And that's a challenge, though, because we don't do beds, right? There are some things that we don't do, but there are some things that we're doing very well. When you think about some of the, the machines that we can hook patients up to, these are very costly pieces of equipment. What is the process for someone to receive services at DME? I mean, can they walk in off the street and say, I want to buy X, Y, and Z? Or does the majority of it come from physician referral?
It depends on what it is. There are certain things that you can come in and just purchase, but most of the things that we sell are something that needs a prescription. Your provider would write a prescription for it, and then we can run that through your insurance. So lots of times the referral process starts with your primary care provider or with one of the services that we have here at the hospital, like an emergency room or the wound care clinic.
Pulmonology, home care.
Pulmonology, sleep studies. They'll send over a prescription. We'll get you set up with CPAP.
So when someone is, let's just talk about CPAP and oxygen, are those scripts that they send over continuous, or is that a renewal process? And are there limits to what they can receive?
Sure, there are. Most things have a limit of 1 year, and your provider would need to see you again and renew that. But they'll send us your new script and your new notes and all of that. We'll submit it to your insurance so that you don't have like an interruption in your service or supplies.
Okay. So let's talk about utilization, because if it's someone very active and can they get as many tanks as they want, or does certain insurances require certain amounts per month, or how do we work
Yeah.
around that?
So we supply all of the oxygen that a patient needs.
Okay.
When we take them on as a patient, we're going to take care of all of their
Yeah.
oxygen needs.
Yeah.
There are different ways that you can get oxygen. So depending on what you're comfortable with and what your insurance covers, there's portable concentrators for people who are out and about more frequently.
And when you say portable, it's really interesting because I've seen some of these devices. They're small.
Pretty small.
They're like a fanny pack, a little bit bigger than a fanny pack, but about that size.
Yeah.
But they're very expensive.
They are expensive. Yeah.
And we do find that insurances don't always necessarily qualify those.
No.
There are requirements for someone for durability and for endurance
Yes.
that they have to walk a certain amount, right? There's a
6-minute walk.
6-minute walk, they call it.
Walk to be able to tolerate what's called a pulse dose.
Okay.
For oxygen. But that's something that, our cardiopulmonary department.
So here at Hillsdale Hospital, our cardiopulmonary will do that test. We'll then communicate back with pulmonology or primary care and say they pass the test, then they qualify for the device.
Submit everything to insurance.
Submit it to the insurance, and then they'll do the qualification if it does. And individuals, though, can purchase one, right? You don't have to have a script, right? And I do understand that they're expensive, but it is an option that's available that we offer, right? Tell us about some other, types of services that we offer at DME that are cash services. So for purchasing products, what kind of products would someone buy?
Well, you can always come in a walker, cane, anything like that. There's medical equipment like shower chairs that just make things easier for people as they age at home. You just might want grab bars or
mobility devices.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the exciting news, which is Hillsdale Hospital has engaged with a third party to do some construction work. And that construction work is at a new location in which we're going to be relocating all of our DME services. But now we're going to have a name change and a location change.
Name change, yeah.
Tell us what's happening and where this is happening.
So we are moving to 2966 West Carleton Road, which is in the plaza right in front of the movie theater. It's right next to Malibu Tan, near where all the things are happening in that area.
Yeah, seems like it, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's a great move for us.
Yeah.
In the little corner section of the plaza there. And we're excited. The construction is done and everything is looking great.
Yeah, looks beautiful. I had a chance to see some photos. And so that plaza, which is actually basically 2 rental spaces that we have, plenty of parking in front, plenty of parking in back.
On the side, parking in the back.
Yeah. So tell us when and what's the new name?
It's Hillsdale Medical Supply.
All right.
All right. And we're moving on June 2nd. That'll be the first day that we're open at the new location.
So June 2nd, is it a grand opening?
The grand opening is going to be on Friday, June 13th.
Okay, so we're going to get in, acclimated, get everybody in their places. And then June 13th, we'll have folks down there to see the new facility. And then also you'll have products displayed, right?
Yes, we'll have products displayed. There will be light refreshments. Public is invited to come check out the new store.
So when we think about a storefront, it truly is. They stop in. Do they have to have an appointment?
No.
So they can stop in. What are the traditional hours?
It's 8 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Okay. So they stop in. They can call in their scripts as well, correct? Do physicians call it in or do they bring it in, the patient?
Generally, the physician faxes the script to us.
Okay.
And then we can prepare everything, call the patient, let them know when things are ready.
Yeah. So patients have a choice. So if a provider was to tell them you can only use this non-Hillsdale DME services, that's not true. They can use our home care services and our medical supply services, correct?
Yes.
They have full access to say, no, I want to go to Hillsdale. And then that script is faxed. And then you go through the authorization process, right? Now, that's not always easy, especially when it comes, it does. And the lag and delay of that time, when you look at a patient who needs oxygen, you have portable tanks that'll get them by until we can get a concentrator to their house, right? But we also offer a unique service. We deliver. Talk to us a little bit about how we do that.
So if a patient say they're in our emergency room, needs to come with oxygen, we keep some tanks there. They'll send that patient home with a tank. And then our person who is either working or on call, depending on the time of day, will get everything set up with their paperwork and take a concentrator to the patient's house and set
Right.
it up, teach them how to use it, teach them all of the safety precautions, and then take some backup tanks in case there's an emergency or power
Right.
outage. We can come out and deliver tanks as people need them.
Okay.
We deliver to certain areas of the county every Thursday.
All right.
There's a route and a rotation. So when people need new tubing or they need tanks, we're happy to bring it.
Yeah. What if there's an emergency in the middle of the night? Is there an on-call system that we
is.
utilize?
Yes, there is an on-call system. You call the hospital switchboard after hours, and they page our on-call person.
And
Let us
so
know what you need.
one of them, including you,
Mhm.
could actually be out delivering services as needed, correct?
Right.
We often find that during power outages, that's
Mhm.
also a major concern of ours, right?
Yes.
So what recommendations do you have? We're getting to the storm season. Would you
Mhm.
have for patients who are on oxygen?
We are. So if you're on oxygen and storm season's coming, if you don't have a backup power source, it's a good idea to just make sure that you have plenty of oxygen
Mhm.
tanks and that the backup alarm on your concentrator is working. Just try unplugging it from the wall
You
and
hear
see
it?
if it makes an alarm sound. Um, but then we can also come out ahead of time. We'd prefer to come out ahead of the actual storm and deliver some extra
Yeah.
tanks
Yeah.
just so that everybody's prepared.
So you heard it here. Great opportunity for you to come out to the storefront. Take a look. Opportunity for if you're in the market for any type of mobility devices, consider Hillsdale, consider Hillsdale Hospital and the services that we render. We work very closely with your other team, which is home care,
Mhm.
to coordinate services when your nurses go to the home and they detect that there's some deficiencies in the home. They can also recommend you really need that shower chair. You really need, this.
Mhm.
And that's very important as well to coordinate that care. And it keeps patients healthy and it keeps them mobile and it keeps them in their home,
Right.
which is really what we're trying to achieve in this service line. And then opportunities for individuals to come in and see this at grand opening. We'll be announcing that on Facebook. We'll have some snacks out.
Mhm.
We'll probably even do a live out there that day, I'm sure. Kirsten's saying yes. We'll really just tout this beautiful space, and it's in front of the current movie theaters in that little plaza area there, right next to the tanning salon. In those two suites, we've occupied those. You'll see a banner up there that says coming soon. I'm excited. I know you're
We're
excited.
excited. Our staff is excited.
Yeah.
We can't wait to move in.
Yeah, this business has grown so much, and the opportunity to serve our patients, it's very rewarding. And I get plenty of comment cards about the appreciation our community has for services like this because they don't have to travel.
Mhm.
And home delivery services are very, very powerful. So, Lindsey, it's always great having you in the studio. We could talk a lot about all the other services and programs that you're soon going to be running as our director of outpatient clinics. That's going to be something else we talk about in the future.
Yeah.
Okay. But we got to get through this first. We got to get to the move, do all those things, and we'll have you back. And before we close for today, are there any questions from our audience? No questions. You've answered them all so successfully. If you have a question after reviewing this, after it's live, feel free, put it in the comment section, and we'll be more than glad within a very short period to answer your questions. If you have questions specific to processes or even specific equipment, we'll be more than glad to answer those. Talk to your primary care physician, talk to your pulmonologist. You do have choices. If anybody is steering you away from Hillsdale's program, please remember that you have the ability to say where you want to receive those services. That is so important that we empower you, the patient. So thanks for joining us today, Lindsey. You have been, again, a wealth of information as we educate our community on what services are available. It is just so incredible to see the work that you've done. The facility looks beautiful. The workload I know is going to be significant for you, but congratulations to you and your team. It's great. So thanks. And thank you for joining us today. It is because of you and the utilization of our services that allow us to continue to prop up our hospital like this, to be as strong and to be viable as we are in this community. We're profitable. We're doing remarkably well as a hospital. We've added new services from this service line to neurosurgery, to vascular surgery, to urology. to PET scan, which we just had a few weeks ago on live. All of these new services are here, and they're driven for you, the patient, for utilization. And when you use those services, we can reinvest back into this community. But we entrust you to use those services, and we count on you to use those services so we can continue to provide those services to you. So your hospital, locally owned and controlled, 501c3, here to serve you, our patients in our backyard. Programs like Lindsey's running and other programs are designed just for that, to keep you here. And eventually programs like this, if you are in the hospital, to keep you mobile and get you integrated back into the community. So if you're looking for other services, you can go to our website, hillsdalehospital.com. We list a whole variety of all of our services, from inpatient to outpatient, wound care clinic to hyperbaric medicine to pain clinic. It's incredible to see the full span of services that our hospital can offer. Many times when I go and travel and speak, many of my colleagues across the country are amazed at the level of services a local community hospital like ours is providing. No one's doing it like this, and we're doing remarkably well. And we just need to invite the public's trust and their continued trust to utilize our services. If you're looking to join a winning team, look no further. We have 30 or so open positions right now. We'd love to have you on the team. USA News top hospital in this country, top employment. We're rated in stars, and all of the great accolades that we've received across the last year really pays witness and testimony to the hard work of our team members. Our team members are at the heart of the business that we engage in every day. So if you're looking for a way that you can say thank you to a caregiver, go to our Facebook or go to them directly at one of their Facebook sites and say, thanks for being in the healthcare industry. We often get a lot of attacks and barbs against us in this industry. Individuals are polarized now more than ever. There's conversations about what healthcare should or shouldn't be. But at the end of the day, we're your local hospital caring for you. And this is so important. Not only are we stimulating the local economy as the third largest employer, pouring back millions into the community, but we're also improving the quality of life in our community. So if you're looking to say thank you, please do that. If you're looking to join a winning team, you can do it. If you're looking to donate, we'll take that too. hillsdalehospital.com. There's an opportunity on the giving page for you to do that. We would encourage you to consider making a gift, a donation. You can even name that gift to a specific department or piece of equipment. And we concluded our capital campaign with which we raised over $1 million in a record time, short time, because our community said, we believe in you and we want to invest in you. And for that, I say thank you for your contributions. And you can always join us every Wednesday, well, most Wednesdays, on live, where we talk to leaders like Lindsey and others about the services that we offer to bring right to you in this community. You can also listen to us on WCSR, where we talk about similar opportunities for you to have services. We're at WCSR, we're on Buzz. Listen to us on Fridays. You can also catch our national podcast, Rural Health Today. There's also the older podcast, Rural Health Rising, but Rural Health Today is now opportunity for you to go to wherever you get your podcast, download it, subscribe, and give a like. Send it to your friends. We are changing healthcare and advocacy for rural health across this country. And we get stories every week in which individuals who listen to our podcast and say, our hospital struggling in our community, what can we do? We need new services, what can we do? And we're having meaningful dialogue and conversations with thought leaders across this country, leaders in healthcare, leaders in the private sector, leaders in the public sector, politicians. We interview a wide variety of leaders, and we would just really encourage you to, wherever you get your podcast, definitely send a like to us as well on our Facebook. And until we meet again, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay Hillsdale strong when you choose Hillsdale first. Thanks for joining us today.